Welcome to the Shit Hot Takes, and I like doing these videos because it allows me to look at social media, look at TikTok, look at Twitter, look at Instagram, and allow me to look at the NBA's perspective and the community's perspective on the NBA. Let's start with the first take.
Lowe asked me a question if John Stockton is a top 2 passer all time, and I got all screwed up because I'm still stuck on the fact that he's telling me that Joker is a better passer than John Stockton. So I'm all over the place. But to answer your question, yes, John Stockton is a top 2 passer all time. That's what I'm standing on that. Standing on that.
Now, this is one of the main reasons why I think John Stockton's overrated. Now, the thing about John Stockton is John Stockton is a top 10 passer, yes. But top 5, I do not believe so. The thing about John Stockton, this is what John Stockton does when he's on his team. I will give you a retrospective of what he does. John Stockton will dribble up the ball, he will dribble up the floor, and he will give it to Karl Malone in a contested post shot. That is a simple pass. When we talk about pass, we talk about how the versatility of the pass, how you pass, and how you execute the pass. Now, we're not saying John Stockton just can't pass, he is the best passer, no. But the reason why John Stockton has all them assists is because of his longevity and how long he played with Karl Malone. Karl Malone is a top 3 scorer of all time, and John Stockton benefited from him more than Karl Malone benefited from him, because when those years when John Stockton was taking a step back and another point guard was leading the team, Karl Malone was still averaging 25 plus points on that team. So it doesn't matter about who the point guard is. Karl Malone is still going to eat, Karl Malone is still going to score. So John Stockton benefited from playing with Karl Malone because he could just do simple passes in the post. Now, I'm not saying that John Stockton didn't do some decent passes. He'll do some passes where he's driving to the lane, a dive out pass. That's not an easy pass to do. But what I'm saying is John Stockton did not do these crazy versatile passes that LeBron is doing, Jokic, Steve Nash, all these player passes that are over him. It's because they did passes that looks more and are more versatile than what John Stockton does. The most that John Stockton did was he would allow the offense to run out. He would just do a pass. If I'm a great passer, I'm gonna pass, and I will pass, and I will allow that person to score. But when I'm just allowing the offense to do the way it does, and I just do a pass, that's not me being a great passer. That's just me doing a simple pass. And I just think John Stockton's overrated in general. John Stockton and Karl Malone are just overrated in general. I just don't know why they're so high. They barely couldn't get out of the first round most of the time. They have more first round exits than finals conference appearances. Then when they went in the finals, they had a chance to beat Jordan. I don't know which one I can think of top of my head, but they literally could have beat Jordan. But they have such a simple plan that the Bulls' defense is so good that it was able to execute it so easily. They just have a simple pick and roll, and it was effective. But when you're going against a top 5 defense, it's not gonna be effective. So the thing about that team is that team was just so it was just so easy for it to be defended. That's why that team was lost. And plus, John Stockton is not a good point guard in general. John Stockton doesn't know when he should be able to score, because if I'm the best point guard on the team, I should be able to score as well, because playmaking is very valuable. Yes, even though I don't believe in true point guards, yes, it is still very valuable how you having a point guard that's able to shoot, that's able to pass. But if my best player on the team is not scoring correctly, or I know that I need to score to help my team propel to win, then I'm going to score. I'm going to shoot a 3, and I'm going to do what I can. That's why I think Steve Nash is overrated, but Steve Nash is better than John Stockton, because even though Steve Nash was a true point guard, quote unquote, he was able to step up when he had to step up. Because in some of them playoff runs, Amari Stoudemire was injured, Amari Stoudemire was on the team, and Steve Nash was able to step up to 25 plus points in those series. That is what a point guard, the best point guard on the team should do. You should be able to step up in those moments and show why you're so good. I think John Stockton's overrated. I don't think John Stockton's a top 2 passer. I just don't think so. He's a simple passer to Karl Malone, and he is not that great. Who think he is?
I jump on your song and make you sound like you the feature. I jump on your song and make a label think they need you. For real.
Now, in that video, I think it's Wilt Chamberlain. I think Wilt Chamberlain is the worst player there. Now, the thing, one more say worst player is, when I think of player, I don't think of their skill or talent. I just have their whole career as a whole. So, in my opinion, as in their career, I think Wilt was the worst player there. Now, the reason why I say that is because the competition that Wilt Chamberlain played wasn't competent enough to the other players that they have played against. Wilt Chamberlain averaging 50, Wilt Chamberlain scoring 100. That's very good. I'm not taking away from him, but he was able to do that because of the competition he went against. The best team he was going against every year was the Bill Russell Celtics. He was getting dominated every time he went against them because he had amazing defense. He couldn't stop them, but he would dominate other teams because the other teams was trash. That's the only reason why Wilt Chamberlain was able to have what he had. I'm not saying Wilt Chamberlain is not a good player. Wilt Chamberlain is a great player, because for you to do that, you just have to be a great player, a good NBA player. But what I'm saying is, I don't think Wilt Chamberlain has all them records he has. But It's just because of the era he played in. And I'm not taking away from him. You know, you're born where you're born, you play where you play. But what I'm saying is, compared to other careers, we can't prepare him for having those scoring records, having those records, all that things that he has. When you have to put context, you have to put context about the era he played in. So I think Wilt is the worst player there. But also, there's another take I have. I don't think Larry Bird is not that good as people think he is. I think he's semi-overrated. I don't have him in my top 10 all time. I have Curry there at 10, I have him 11. Because of some of the playoff runs he had. I'm not going to get too in detail with it, because it's not that type of take. But I think that is Wilt the worst player there. But if you think it's Wilt, then I would say Larry Bird is second. But I have Wilt as the worst player in that board.
He's by far, to me, probably the hardest player to guard in the NBA. It's not even close. You can't touch him. They give him every fucking call. They set illegal screens for him the entire game. Draymond and these guys set illegal screens. They don't call it because they want to see him shoot, because it's good for basketball. It's good for the NBA. That doesn't happen with any other player in the NBA. It's nuts.
I don't know why people hate on the Warriors system so much when they realize that most teams in the NBA run a pick and roll, most teams in the NBA run screens because it allows the offense to flow. I don't necessarily people just hate on the Warriors system. The reason we hate on the Warriors system is because the way that they set screens, okay, I will give it to you. Some of them are illegal, I guess, but for the referee to nitpick and call every screen, every foul, everything that happens in the NBA game, that makes the game go slower. And plus, that's just extreme hate on Steph Curry. The reason, even when Steph Curry does that, it allows other people to get open. Because when you set a screen, I will pick up on Curry and let Draymond Green drive. Me personally, because Steph Curry is going to score that 3 8 out of 10. So them picking up on Curry still is going to facilitate and allow other people to score. It's not just Curry shooting. But most of the time, Curry shoots because Curry is able to get open. But still, there's still 4 other players on the court that can get open. You're worried about Steph Curry, and you just hitting on Steph Curry because the way their system is ran. That's how the Warriors system is ran. People are just hitting on it because it just runs effectively, and it allows Steph Curry to play how he plays. I don't know if people just hit on that system so much when most teams in the NBA run a pick and roll. Most teams in the NBA allow other teammates to get open by doing screens. Screens are just effective in the NBA. Just the Warriors just use that more because it helps their offense more. I don't understand that take.
Y'all won a lot of championship, but it was lame as for 4 or 5 years. There was a media run, and there was a hype train of a franchise running through, which were the Warriors.
Yeah.
And that was KD doing that. You know what I mean? There's just certain points where it just seemed unfair. We're not knocking it, to each their own, but it was just like you had to wait until this narrative ended in a moment of history.
Man, we still don't get no calls though. So when they start,
I'm not knocking it, but at the same time, I'm still playing against Andre Iguodala, Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, and whoever else. Like, that's like playing versus MJ, fool. Like, it still don't make no sense. It doesn't justify anything. And y'all won a lot of championship, but it was lame as So, like, literally,
Steph just won one by itself. Steph just won one by itself.
And that's perfectly fine. I'm talking about when you lame ass did that for 2 or 3 straight years. That was lame as
Was that us? Or was that us following the trends of where the league was going? Had already been.
Word to mother, I would never go recruit no KD. I don't give a damn who was there.
I don't know what's with this take that the Warriors recruited KD. KD went to the Golden State Warriors and wanted to be on that team. 1. 2, people don't realize that the era that we are in is player movement. Players are allowed to go anywhere and everywhere they want to go. So if Kevin Durant wants to go to Golden State Warriors, wants to go to Golden State Warriors. Now, I'm not saying I justify that move. I'm not saying, oh, Kevin Durant should have never went to the, Kevin Durant went to the Warriors, it's justified. No, I'm not saying that. Kevin Durant went to a super team. He should just stay on the OKC Thunder and play it out because they could have won to his team. They both in one league. But the thing about it is that's just how the NBA is. The NBA allowed that to happen, so it happened. I mean, you can't get mad and still have a hissy fit over something happened a couple of years ago. You're mad, Evan Turner's mad, but he act like he would have won a championship anyway in those 2 years. You had to be a top team to beat that team, and it was still competent teams go against that team. The Houston Rockets almost beat that team in 7 games. That team wasn't unbeatable. It was hard to beat them, yes, but the team wasn't unbeatable anyway. And if you're now on a top team anyway, you're not going to be a chance to be in the finals. I don't know why Evan Turner's hating on. He was on a team that was going to be able to win the finals anyway. It's just, I don't understand that take. I mean, you can't blame Curry and the team. They didn't recruit KD. KD came to them and wanted to be on the team. And who am I to deny a top 5 player at that time, and they would help me win 2 more championships back to back? I'm not turning that down either. I don't care. I'm not turning that down. That's dumb as me as a franchise do that. So don't hate on the Warriors. Don't hate on Curry. Don't hate on the Iguodala. Don't hate on that team for recruiting a top 5 player. I would do the same thing. That's just how the NBA is. And if you actually watch those Warriors teams was fun to watch. People just wanted to hate because they want LeBron to win and they wanted other teams to win. But in that 3-year span, that team was fun to watch. That team was fun to watch. It was just so, even me as a Warriors fan, even if I wasn't a Warriors fan, other people who watch the NBA and aren't Warriors fans, they still say that team was fun to watch because KD fit in that system so well. So I don't understand why he's just hitting on this team. That team was fun. That team, it didn't break the NBA. Yes, I'm not saying it didn't do that, but that team wasn't unbeatable. That's why they went 16-0 every single season. No, they lost games. No, they went to game 6. They went to game 7s. That team wasn't unbeatable. He just wasn't a good team to beat that team anyway. It's Evan Turner.
The NBA truly has a problem right now as there's an excess of players and teams scoring way too many points way too easily. 23 40-point performances in the month of January when it's January 19th is ridiculous. It should not be happening. Especially when some of the guys on this list are Nikola Vucevic or Kyle Kuzma. No disrespect to them. At the end of the day, we have to increase the intensity that the regular season is played at, and there's 3 ways to do that. One is reducing load management by doing what? Shortening the NBA season to 72 games, in my opinion. You eliminate a good amount of the back-to-backs, making people rest more, which makes them want to play more. Make each game more valuable. And to go along with that, I think the play-in has to go. There's no way 66% of your league has a shot to get into the playoffs. This takes out the purpose of the regular season, in my opinion. Take it back to the regular 8 teams. Finally, the league must expand. Bring back the Supersonics. Spread out some of that talent. Add that Vegas team. 32 teams, 16 make the playoffs.
I agree with him wholeheartedly. The reason why there's so many injuries in this league is because of how many games are played. There is so many back-to-back 3-in-a-row games, 4-in-a-row games that NBA players have to rest their bodies. They're still humans. They still get fatigued. They still allowed to play. So that's why I don't like when people get mad at players for resting, because they have to rest. Because if they don't, they're gonna play so many games. So I think you should reduce season. I agree with that because the season is too long. 82 games is long. 82 games is a thing that been happening for a long time. People don't like change, but if you make it 72, allows less blow management and more intensity in the playoffs. And yes, I agree the players should go. There is no way that if you're below a AFC, you should have a chance to make the playoffs. I like that race to the AFC that was before, when there was teams trying to win the game and try to get the AFC, because it just doesn't make sense to play. And the playing is just a waste of time, because most of the time the 8th seed is going to win anyway, or the 7th seed. So it just doesn't make sense how people can just be the 10th seed or the 9th seed so have a chance to make the playoffs. It should be a thing you want to chase. It's a thing you want to do. So I think you should get rid of the play-in, and you also should delay the season. Because if you not delay the season, but have the season down to 72 games, because having the season down to 72 games allows people to play less games. It allows them to rest more, because there is no way the Golden State Warriors should play 3 straight games. It was so many games they played that Curry, Wiggins, Draymond, and Clay rested, because 1, they're old. 2, they played 2 intense games that was with the 4th quarter down to the wire, and you want to play another game. People was mad about them resting and they wasting their ticks on the game, but like, don't get mad at the players for resting. Get mad at the NBA for having so many games and not allowing players to rest their bodies. They're still humans. They still have stuff going on. So I don't understand why the NBA just feels like you just play so many games like they're superhuman. They're still humans. That's why there's so much load management, there's so many injuries, because of the NBA just allowing so many games to happen, just so many games at one time. They need to reduce season down, and then it'll be less load management.
All you people that saying I don't know basketball, I'm about to double down on what I just said. Y'all live in this fantasy world where y'all think Michael Jordan was just the greatest defender ever. Please tell me in the 90s who the best wing player is that Michael Jordan had to guard.
See, this is what we talking about with these stupid takes. People are so casual when it comes to certain stuff. If you're not going to inform yourself, don't make a take about stuff that's happening. Michael Jordan not play against plumbers. Michael Jordan not play against bad people. I don't think people understand that just because you're a certain position, you can guard people outside of your position. Michael Jordan in his first NBA Finals guarded Magic Johnson for majority of that series. I don't know, there's a myth that Scott people guarded Magic. I don't know what that is, but Michael Jordan guarded Magic Johnson for most of that series. Michael Jordan guarded Gary Payton. Gary Payton was a amazing defender, but also a great scorer as well. A lot of people think he's not a good scorer. Michael Jordan guarded so many amazing players That's why he's a defensive player of the year. That's why he has so many all-time defenses. I don't know what he's talking about by saying he didn't guard so many wing people. You can guard people outside of your position. Scottie Pippen was considered on most of the matchups simply because Jordan already had to score, had most offensive loads, so he didn't want to get tight on defense. But Jordan would still guard the best player on the team some of the time when Scottie was on the floor, or most of the time, like Magic Johnson. Michael Jordan locked Magic Johnson down that first NBA Finals and did not allow him to play how he likes to play. That's what made them win that series. I don't know what he's talking about saying he didn't guard anybody. I don't know what that takes.
Because in the 90s, the best players were centers. Hakeem Olajuwon, Patrick Ewing, those caliber players. Michael Jordan in the finals was guarding Jeff Hornacek, Hersey Hawkins, point guard Gary Payton, Kevin Johnson. Okay? Michael Jordan, y'all had this crazy idea that Michael Jordan was guarding the best wing players of all time. He never did. He never did. He was guarding bums and mailmen.
Okay, I'm gonna try to get to the rest of the video without pausing, but it's literally making me mad because he's literally lying. Michael Jordan guarded Clyde Drexler. Michael Jordan also guarded Magic Johnson. Michael Jordan also guarded he guarded Jeff Hornacek because John thought it was not a scoring threat that Michael Jordan had to worry about. So Scottie Pippen had Karl Malone, so he would score the most on that team because they couldn't guard him. So why would Michael Jordan, who has most of the offensive load, he is an amazing defender. I don't know what he's talking about. He literally guarded Clyde Drexler, guarded Magic Johnson. When he had defensive assignments, he did his defensive assignments. But when Michael Jordan has most of the offensive load, because one, Scottie Pippen is underperforming in the playoffs. Scottie Pippen is overrated to me. That's another thing for the day. But Scottie Pippen is underperforming in the finals. He doesn't have another scoring option that allows him to take the load off him. Michael Jordan already has enough effort scoring on offense, so he is going to play defense. I don't know what he's talking about. Michael Jordan was an amazing defender, but Michael Jordan didn't need to guard the best player on the team all the time. These insane expectations you have for Michael Jordan, when LeBron James doesn't guard the best player on the team every time. LeBron James in the 2012 did not guard KD all the time. In 2014, he did not guard the best player on the team all the time. Kawhi Leonard was on him. He did not guard Kawhi most of the time. Then in another one of those series, in 2007, he did not guard Tim Duncan. In most of them series, LeBron James doesn't beat on the best players. So why are you holding this insane standard to Michael Jordan to guard the best player when LeBron James do that as well? If you're going to hold Jordan to a standard, hold LeBron to that same standard as well, because they're 1 and 2. They're right there. So I don't understand why he's putting this insane emphasis on Jordan to play insane offense and also guard the best player on the team when LeBron James didn't do that as well. I don't understand that take. Jordan didn't guard players as well. That's just stupid.
Okay? You think Michael Jordan is guarding Steph Curry in Modern Evolution from 40 feet? You are on crack cocaine. You are on crack cocaine if you think Michael Jordan is guarding Steph Curry. You are on crack. You are on crack. Because I'm going to tell you this. Michael Jordan could not guard Grant Hill. When Grant Hill came out and he was the first point forward that was elusive and could move, the Bulls could not stop Grant Hill, okay? If you think Steph Curry, the best shooter of all time with the most range of all time, he's shutting him down, you are crazy. Magic Johnson, 6'9" Magic Johnson with no lateral. Like, stop, bro. Y'all live in this fantasy world of all these old heads. Get out of the past.
Now, I agree with him to a certain extent. Only old heads would think that the Jordan era team was winning that game. LeBron's era was winning that. It's not even close. But for you to say Jordan won't be able to, Jordan's not shutting down Curry. Nobody on that team is shutting down the other team. They're not getting shut down. They're amazing players for a certain reason. They play against the best defenses and they have shown that they can play through them. So of course not getting shut down. But Jordan is limiting Curry. Jordan's gonna limit Curry, not to a certain extent. Just because I think Steph Curry is the best shooter in the NBA, ever, doesn't mean that I think Jordan's one of the best defenders ever too. So if you put those two together, Jordan's going to limit Curry. I don't think to that big of an extent because Curry is an amazing offensive player, but Jordan is going to limit Curry. Curry's not going to be able to drop 40 or 30 a game in a 7-game series. He could probably average 20 to 22 or 25, which is not bad on that team, but Jordan is going to limit him and not allow him to score that many points because Jordan is a good defender. Also, I agree, Magic Johnson won't be able to guard so many players. He is 6'9", Magic Johnson is not a good defender. I agree that LeBron's era is going to beat Jordan's era. I agree with that. But if you just for you to just diminish Jordan's era, act like it was just complete trash because of the evolution of the NBA. The evolution of the NBA is just so good that it's just hard to compare the old eras because the evolution, there's so much talent more than there is back then. But when you go back then and you look at the talent that was there back then, there was still exceptional talent back then compared to that era. That's why when you look at players in that era, you compare to that era. You don't look at eras back then and compare to this era. You don't do that. That's why in the previous take I had, when I was talking about Wilt Chamberlain, I compared it to this era because it was who's the best player in general. But I also said he played in that era. He also played there, so I'm not going to diminish him for that. But we have his whole career as a whole, and we're comparing eras. I'm going to diminish his career because he played in a weak era. Same thing with Jordan and LeBron. The reason why LeBron's eras will be Jordan's era is because in LeBron's era, there's more talent. There's more players to go against. There's more things that happen. That's why in LeBron's era, they're being Jordan's era because they're more talented than them. That's why.
Bro, Giannis is absolutely butchering Larry Bird. He is butchering him. He is making him look silly. I'll give y'all the Shaq thing. Look, I'm a 90s kid. Like, bro, I grew up in the 90s. I watched both of these players. I know. I remember. I'm well aware. Shaq is going absolute ape shit. I'm not denying that. LeBron James, bro, like, are y'all serious right now? Are y'all serious? I think Kobe is sticking with Steph. Obviously, prime Kobe is the closest of playing in both generations. Kobe's probably going to do fine. He'll slow step down. Like, Michael Jordan, bro, like, y'all got to get that out of y'all head, bro. Y'all have to get that out of y'all's head that Michael Jordan is the best defender ever when Michael Jordan was not guarding nobody. He was not guarding nobody. Okay? Steph Curry, they're going to, if Steph Curry played in the 90s, bro, they would literally arrest him for witchcraft, bro, because he shoot like these niggas was putting up 80, 90 points in a game, bro. Are y'all serious? Are y'all serious? Steph Curry is butchering Michael Jordan. He is.
Okay, I'm writing this up. This will be the longest video on my channel that I've ever posted. I just don't know how you have Kobe limiting Curry, but Jordan can't. Because most people see Kobe as a copycat of Michael Jordan. So if you see Kobe as a copycat of Michael Jordan, obviously Kobe gonna play defense to a lesser degree, and he did play defense to a lesser degree. Jordan has defense play that Kobe Bryant doesn't. So I don't understand how he thinks Kobe will limit him, but Jordan won't. That's just dumb. But I agree with him. I think the LeBron era is going to be the Jordan era. And also Shaq would dominate. I agree with some of his points. But him just diminishing Jordan's era and act like it was complete garbage is just not correct. If you're going to come with those facts, you have to back it up. Jordan did guard people Jordan did guard perimeter players that was there. I don't know what you want to do. Why would Michael Jordan guard a power forward or a center? He's not big enough, or he's not tall enough to guard them. LeBron James is, because he's taller. But even with LeBron James, he doesn't have the physical play of the year, and also LeBron doesn't play that many good years defensively as Michael Jordan. So I just don't understand that. It just doesn't make sense to me. You're a 90s kid, but you're also uphealing the new generation to a certain degree. The LeBron era is beating the Jordan era, but don't just act like Jordan era won't do nothing. If it's a 7-game series, LeBron's era is winning in 6 or 7. It's not going to be a sweep or anything like that. Thank you for watching. This is a hot take video, and this video was recorded a little bit ago, so some of the things I have said was a little bit outdated, but I still stand by some of the points. This is a video that I recorded a little bit ago. Thank you for watching this video. Like, subscribe. There's more content on the way.